Here we are, the 11th episode, the 11th hour of the other side of everything else. Oh, yeah. Did a little wrestling thing on the last episode, and I need to mention wrestler Dani Palmer. She's coming up. She's a local town girl from here, where I'm from, and this probably get copyrighted or whatever because WWE, that's what YouTube flagged my other show on. That's why it wasn't on YouTube for very long last time. But Dani Palmer, it's her uncle Tim was like my first best friend, or school best friend anyway. And then friends with her mom Kim, and she was her mom and her actually trained my granddaughter Destiny in gymnastics and stuff. So I want to keep an eye on her, see what she does. She's very athletic, and so just he's not wrong. That is what she does: gymnastics, lift weights. She's just very. I mean, I'm not know her, but I just know her family and I just know her background and all that. But anyway, welcome to the other side of everything else here. Getting a little later start. Had some the electric company was doing some upgrades yesterday, so I cut my internet out, so I couldn't really get to it yesterday. We had a busy weekend. Went and saw Jeff Tate. Got up with an old buddy of mine, Steve Hinch, and had a good time there. Jeff sounded good. So, just always a pleasure watching him perform. One of the pleasures was I got to see a band, and I'm going to blank on their name. I'm sorry about that, but I mean, they kicked off with a Rush song. And then they did The Wizard by Black Sabbath. And then they did, Perfect Stranger by Deep Purple, and, all these great songs and just, complicated songs, a lot of them. So it's always great to see a band like that, coming up. But here we are, got the Warriors representing, the Warriors coming out to play, yay. And so anyway, I want to get a mention to Dani Palmer in there. She's just been on YouTube so far, I believe. NXT Level Up. I don't usually watch that. That's why. I mean, I didn't really mention her before because I was covering the three big pay-per-views of last month, and but she's definitely going to be one to watch. I believe she's really going to do some things. She's smart. She's talented. She's athletic. I just think she's really going to do something. And the thing about her name, Dani Palmer, is that's her grandpa's name. He's passed away, and he's such a great guy. I'm sure his family misses him terribly, and but he was just so full of life and just so, just a good-hearted nature guy. Always enjoyed being around him. But we're going to get into music here, but let's stick with the wrestling theme so far, because I'm going to kick into this next one, and it's actually it's got John Cena. That's the wrestling connection. There's a TV show called The Peacemaker from the movie Suicide Squad with the Peacemaker in that. So there's a movie connection there. And it's also going to be one of my featured bands this week, Wigwam. And I love this intro. I usually just skip the intros after the first episode or whatever. I watched every intro. I could kind of fake the dance after a little while. It's just so silly. But it's a great song. The song actually came out in 2009, and the song came out in 2009. The band's been out for a little while, and they're just a fun band, kind of like the bands of the '70s, like Sweet, and and Slade, and just good catchy tunes. T-Rex, all those kind of bands. Uh, but then you have a that and that's why another reason I recommend this show is it's silly, and it's actually it's rude, crude, and socially unacceptable. So if that's what you're into, it's the show to watch. And it highlights a lot of stuff from the '80s that probably not the most popular stuff. You had like a London Choir Boys. You had of course Wigwam right there. A band that has that sound. There's a lot of European and UK and Swedish bands are getting a lot of exposure there, and but they actually got a new album coming out. The thing about them is they were getting ready to just call it quits. It wasn't really happening. They wasn't getting the recognition. They're getting older. They're getting tired, and then the pandemic hit. Pandemic, whatever, and so. But then all of a sudden, this show comes out. That song becomes extremely popular within the you know fans and stuff, and now here they are with a new album coming out. Actually, the album comes out in February. And this here is the single, the first single. I think it might be the name of the album too. Out of the Darkness. But I'm looking forward to it. I've been kind of following them. I'd read about them a lot, and then whenever Peacemaker came out and that song was playing, and I really just started getting on to them. I mean, getting into them. I didn't get on to them. They're good people, I'm sure. Who am I to get on to them? So anyway, a little wigwam there. So, there we go with that. That's our first featured artist here on the other side of everything else in the 11th hour. So another thing I'm thinking about getting into, I've had a good friend of mine, Marty, shout out to Marty Gamble. I didn't even realize it. He told me that I'm part of the reason he got into playing music with bands, because he didn't have nothing. He had an old guitar he dug out of the garbage and stuff, and then we met and started hanging out, and I loaned him an amp for like a year. He started playing with people, and he's like one of the best guitarists you ever hear. He's just that natural talent. You could hum a song to him, and all of a sudden he could play it. I remember one morning I was leaving his house like at 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, and we had the Charlie Daniels Decade of Hits, and the picking song Uneasy Rider, and he's like, hey, leave that here, I want to learn that. And I'm like, all right. And he had to be a chord or something like that, and I was coming back, going to loan him my car or something like that, I can't remember. But I just only like 3 hours later maybe, and I come back, and there he is playing the song. But anyway, one thing I'm getting to here is he was telling me that, hey, you should be on the radio. You got the knowledge, you got the voice, and all that. And I just had my wife sent me something about doing audio books. And she's like, "You got a voice for it." I even had one girl tell me I had a voice for a phone sex operator. You remember them? Yeah. I can't get my voice that. No, I got to wear the wig. What do you? I guess you don't if you're on the phone. I don't know. I would anyway, just to be in character. But anyway, things I'm looking at, and what I'm getting to there is I'm looking at maybe doing an internet radio show. That way I can get more into music. I can play a lot of the different ones. I'm thinking about doing maybe an hour show, an hour a day or whatever, or something like that. And then maybe expand it later on. But I was looking into the ASCAP and all that, the blanket what you need to your blanket copyrights or whatever, and your royalties. And the shame of it is I know artists just don't get much money on royalties, and I wish that was different. But the most I could do there is at least give them exposure, and that's really what this show's about, and that's what I'm trying to do. And so I've been looking into that. I think it's anywhere between 250 and 450 a year, and if things are going good, I mean, it don't seem like a lot when you break it down over a year. I mean, I could probably, cut some things here and there, and might do a couple little practices and just see how that goes, because that's something I'm looking at. That's something I'm looking into. I'm always looking into things, because you always got to look on the other side of everything else, just so you can look into all the things that you're capable to do. So let's just jump into another one here. The second is Smith Kotzen Smith. I can't remember how they put that. Smith Kotzen, SK. Here we go again. Covered them a little bit on a early episode of Rejected Reality that I was doing with my buddy Sean. And again, I don't know where that stands right now. This is probably my pick album for the year. I mean, that's Adrian Smith from Iron Maiden. That's not. The other guy is. And his voice sounded good. Sounded Southern rock, right? He's British. And then, of course, Richie Kotzen. That guy there. A monster guitar player and has a voice like Chris Cornell. So definitely people need to check them out. There's another song bomb that I just love that voice. And he's getting ready to do some more Winery Dogs, I believe, in March. I think it's actually this Friday there's going to be a new song released. Xanadu, and I think Eddie Trunk show on Sirius XM on 103 is going to premiere it at 4 o'clock Thursday. Tomorrow it'll be December 8th, I think. Really looking forward to the Winery Dogs. I've talked to Richie Kotzen a few times on the cruise. Very approachable. I'm pretty sure we'd hang out together if he wasn't like a megastar and doing all this stuff. Oh, a sweet guitar. I mean, there's a monster player, Adrian Smith, Iron Maiden. And the thing about it is, I mean, he's a monster player with Iron Maiden. And there, I guarantee you probably wouldn't even know it's him because he sounds Southern rock. Even his leads are more Southern rock style. And him and Kotzen they mesh. I guess they were neighbors out in California or something. And they started talking, and schedules met up, and boom, Smith Kotzen. And they did some live dates because so that one song was a live, and they even I think they put out a little live album of that stuff. But I'm really looking forward to if they're doing more in the future. I know Iron Maiden, I think, has got some dates coming up touring, and Kotzen, like I said, he's been working with Winery Dogs. He's getting ready to come out with some new Winery Dogs, which features Billy Sheehan on bass. He's from Mr. Big, Dave Lee Roth, the Eat 'em a Smile era. And then Mike Portnoy, he's from Dream Theater. He played with just a ton of bands. He filled in for Twisted Sister after their drummer passed away. He's like one of the go-to drummers. I mean, he's a monster, which I met him too a few times. And nice guy, but he's always so busy when I met him. Met Billy Sheehan too. He was all right. I mean, he was just again, it's all in the timing. Richie seemed to be like the nicest one. I mean, he actually would stop, talk. I mean, one time we was talking, and his girlfriend finally goes, "Hey, we gotta go. We gotta do this." And he goes, "Oh." And so I mean, all very cool. All very cool. Like I said, maybe I need to go through some of the Monsters of Rock cruises and just do the highlights of some of the stories and people that I've met there and stuff. Uh, but I'm not jumping into any other political stories this week. It's pretty much just a little bit of wrestling there with Danny Palmer, and then you got Wigwam, you got Smith Kotzen. I mean, there's plenty of political stuff going on, but I just didn't know where to go because a lot of it's just sad. You know, you got the Hunter Biden stuff going on, and then people argue, you know, how's it relevant? It's relevant because Joe Biden's our president, and he's lied to our faces. He's lied straight up about having dealings with his son or even knowing about his son. Yeah, I mean, it's anyway. Let's skip that. Let's just jump into the next one. This is a young band, that I really like. They've kind of condensed down. I think they're like a 3 or 4 piece now, and I think they were bigger before. But it's Tyler Brandt and the Shakedowns. This is just Tyler Brandt here. Well, Daddy told me there'd be hurt in times like this. Good little really blues rock. But now I'm reaching in for some patience and some faith. And good things come to those who wait. Well, a little bit more of the band in here. Interesting thing about this is the rhythm guitars is Brad Whitford from Aerosmith. It's his son. So it's kind of cool that you got a legacy, you know. It's one of the things, I guess they grew up together. They grew up together and they just, you know, just like anybody else, put a band together and played. I mean, I don't know, they're kind of, I almost want to say Black Crowes feel to them, but more rough around the edges, probably. But anyway, that's what I got this week. Like I said, a little touch on the wrestling with Danny Palmer. I really suggest that if you're into wrestling, check her out. And if even if you're not, I mean, check it out. I mean, have some fun. I mean, people want to ridicule things, but check it out. And then you got Wigwam there. You saw how much fun the Peacemaker show is with John Cena in there. John Cena, like him or whatever. He's just funny. I like watching him, and he's good sense of humor. And then I kind of stuck, the hard Southern rock kind of feel on this show here today. But anyway, be like the Warriors and come out and play play what you like, play what you want. Always look on the other side to see if you can find everything else, and I'll keep you abreast. Can I say abreast on the internet? Surely you can. Anyway, I don't think it's a bad thing. But anyway, I'll keep you abreast on what's all going on. Hopefully we can get Rejected Reality back up again. If not, go check out Sean on Twitter. He's all the time posting stuff. I'm keeping up with him there. At Derby Party. I think it's got a parentheses alpha male or something. But at Derby Party, and you'll find him. And yeah, of course, he's always making a ruckus, causing a scene, and using common sense against them. But I don't know, is common sense even a thing anymore? The way we are now, I don't think it's as common as we want to say it is. I mean, it's what it used to be. But anyway, we got that. You got Wigwam. They got a new album going to come out February. You got Smith and Kotzen. probably my favorite album of the year. And there's been a lot of good albums this year. I wish I could have saw him in concert. It's interesting to see the other side of Adrian Smith, Iron Maiden and that, the other side of everything else. And then Tyler Brandt and the Shakedown. I'm going to keep following their career. I really like them. I saw them once at Louder in Life, just a brief time. They just had a short set, and that was very early in their career, as far as I know. So anyway, I guess we're just going to have to leave it there, and let's just keep searching for what you're looking for, and always keep looking on the other side. That might be where everything else is. So until the next time, I'll see you on the other side.